In addition to building scripts from scratch, you can use ScriptRunner to modify existing scripts that have been copied to the code boxes or automatically populated from snippets within the app. In this module, we'll review how to modify scripts and some best practices to follow when altering and testing those scripts. First, let's look at a sample script to see how it can be modified. This example script, when run, extracts the value of a single select list custom field. For example, Violet has a team of users who choose from a single select list custom field to select how a potential hire found out about the position they applied for. The list options include job board, word of mouth, and Great Adventure website. As the script is currently written, Violet can modify the appropriate variables or properties to fit her need. For example, she first makes changes on line 2 to identify which issue to extract the information from. In this example, the issue key is GAHR1-3. Next, Violet modifies the custom field name in line 18 to job listing source. Because the script uses single quotes around the custom field name, Violet uses the name given to the field. Click Run, and the results return the chosen option from issue GAHR1-3. To take the script a step further, Violet combines it with another script that updates an issue with the extracted custom field value. To do this, she adds the Update an Issue script from the Adaptavist product documentation to the bottom of her code in the script console. Then she removes the return command on line 26, which would prevent the code below it from running. Since she needs 2 issue keys, a source issue and a target issue, she renames the first key to issue key source and the second one to issue key target. Then Violet defines the target issue key as GAHR1-5. Since she changed the variable names for these issues, she ensures that their references are also updated. For the source issue key, she updates line 5, and for the target issue key, she updates line 28. Since the original update issue script specified the summary field to be updated, Violet also needs to modify this part of the script to have the target issue's custom field updated instead. To do this, she alters the code on line 32 to reference the custom field rather than the summary. Since she's unsure how to reference the custom field in this case, she uses a piece of the setSelectList field value script in the ScriptRunner documentation to help her out. Using this script as a reference, she learns that she can reference the custom fields.id property rather than the custom field's actual ID. Once she copies the custom field value code to line 32, all she has to do now is change the option value at the end of the line. Earlier in the script, Violet defined the option value on line 23, so she then replaces the double quotation text on line 32 with the variable name option value. When Violet runs the script, issue GAHR1-5 automatically receives the same job listing source value as GAHR1-1. Although Violet works regularly with ScriptRunner, she follows a few best practices to ensure a smooth experience. First, she always tests her scripts in the script console on a sandbox instance. Not only is this a good practice in general, Violet also knows that it's vital when working with customizations in Jira. To avoid disrupting her end users, she tests and runs scripts in her sandbox environment before using them to create customizations in her live Jira Cloud instance. Another important best practice Violet follows when working in ScriptRunner is to use a version control system such as Git to save the different versions of her scripts. Doing this ensures that she can reference the code she used if problems arise. For example, let's say Violet updated and ran a script in her sandbox instance that made it so end users couldn't transition their work to the done status. Even though she only made a minor change and the previous version of the script ran without issue, Violet needs to reset the script to its original state. If she didn't use a version control system to keep track of the changes she makes with her scripts, she would waste hours of her time trying to figure out what happened. Instead, she copies the correct script and fixes the issue quickly. By following these best practices and knowing how to modify existing scripts, you're on your way to using ScriptRunner to automate, customize, and extend Jira. For additional sample scripts, visit the Adaptavist script library and the ScriptRunner product documentation.